referring to is that the intensity of the snow continues to pick up hour by hour. And just to go back, we were talking about the app. I don't want to show a glare in the camera lens here, but I mean, there's a tremendous wealth of information on our app on the iPad or for the smartphones as well. So when you do lose power, it's we are still a television station. It's just it's much thinner now. But again, be sure to charge them, because more than likely, and anyway, I was talking to TJ about this, we're going to see some widespread power outages. The amount of snow that we're forecasting, along with some very strong wind, limbs and lines may be coming down. Let's start with live pinpoint Doppler 12 radar, because this is a tool that we really use tremendously now that the storm is in our neighborhood, because it does offer a wealth of information. We have the lightning tracker turned on. It's showing lightning strikes near the center of the storm, and that's usually a tip-off that the storm is getting stronger. All this blue is light to moderate snow that's overhead right now, but what catches your eye are these bands of darker green and yellow. This is the core of some of the real intense precipitation, which essentially is rain offshore and some sleet. But as this continues to work north into the colder air, that's when we see the snowfall totals really start to ramp up. So in some communities, maybe measuring snowfall accumulations with a yardstick rather than a ruler. I mean, easily 12 inches, but we feel as though up to 24 inches in areas away from the coastline. And if all comes together, some spots may be higher than 24, perhaps isolated 30-inch amounts. So obviously we have a long way to go. I mean, the reports are just coming in as far as accumulations. And, if you can do that safely outside or on your deck, you want to take a measurement and send it to us, by all means. I mean, once the storm really gets going, we don't expect you to go outside and take measurements. But sometimes you can just look out the window, kind of get an eyeball on the picnic table or on your rail as to how much maybe out there you want to send it in, by all means. Weston Cranston 2, Carolina, that's in the southern part of the state, 2 inches. Norton, Mass at 1.5 inches. South Kingstown, Situate, Rocky Hill, Connecticut, all coming in about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. But of course, these numbers will really start to go up in the coming hours. Downtown Providence, some poor visibility, some fog and moderate snow. Temperatures are still near or just above freezing, but these numbers will come down. It will turn a lot colder later tonight into tomorrow. All right, South Coast residents, we've been talking about gusts perhaps later tonight to hurricane force. I know that concerns you after everything you went through with Sandy. And unfortunately, you will get strong wind gusts on the South Shore. However, if there's any significant coastal flooding, it would be for east coastal Massachusetts during the time of high tide cycles. Now, granted, there is a coastal flood advisory for the South Shore of Rhode Island, but as far as any kind of a massive surge or big flooding, we're not anticipating that. Though some splashover likely, big waves, big surf, probably some beach erosion, unfortunately, but nothing of the surge of what Sandy brought. But you will get Sandy-like wind gusts later tonight, early tomorrow morning. So the intensity picking up, the brunt of the storm this evening, overnight up until I'd say about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. The snow and the wind will linger into the morning hours and then ending during the afternoon, and the whole thing is out of here Saturday night. If the South Shore mixes with a little bit of sleet and rain, and that's depicted in pink, it wouldn't be for very long. The net result was mostly snow on the South Shore, and any kind of a mix will go back over to snow, just for the simple fact that we expect the temperatures to get colder tonight rather than warmer. So that's the situation as far as precipitation type. As we take a look at the Futurecast for the evening hours, red traffic light, when you see that, it means travel is very difficult and nearly impossible. Temperatures dropping through the low and mid-30s as the intensity of the snow picks up. And we are all outright whiteout blizzard conditions for this evening. And look at the temperatures overnight. They continue to drop off into the teens. When it snows with colder temperatures, the snow is not as sticky or as wet. It's dry, it's fluffy, so it blows around a lot easier. So blowing and drifting of snow. So when the road crews clear the roads, because the wind is so strong and the snow is so fluffy and dry because of the cold temperatures, the wind blows the snow back over the road. So it's kind of tough to stay ahead, unfortunately. By definition, a blizzard is actually with winds of 35 or greater and visibility under a quarter mile. You need those two criteria for 3 or more consecutive hours. That'll definitely happen overnight, and why we're overly concerned about travel and why it's not recommended. The storm is also showing signs of slowing down, and why we'll have a prolonged period of this heavy precipitation. I got TJ off to the side here helping me out, and we're going to go right to the accumulation map. TJ, I want to show that one more time before we send it back to Mike and Susan. But very quickly, 10 to 18 South Shore, up to 24 inches or more in our northern suburbs, guys. We're back. We're here all afternoon. Live team coverage and eyewitness news of this blizzard starts again in a couple of minutes. We'll see you then.